share the link. Give it a minute and let me share the link. All right, guys, welcome to the stream. We'll be starting in a couple minutes. If you guys are in here, just stop and say hi.
I love that graphic.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's fun to work with that one. I posted the link in FHS. Team fitted, we're up. How many people got here? I posted the link in FHS. All right.
What's up, Marin? Chris K, Dwayne. I won't repeat what your comment is. We know what you're about, Dwayne. Jesse, what's up? Pablo, what's going on? I haven't got the good evening, gentlemen, from John McNutt yet. So,
yeah. Thanks in the house. The other day.
What's up, Martin?
It's Dodger Day today. Thank.
In the FHS Flex. I think I lost 4 followers today on Instagram.
Yo, there's a lot of Dodger haters out there, eh?
Because I posted 18 Dodger pictures on my Instagram today.
I thought the Yankees were polarizing. I think more people hate the Dodgers now. Probably Houston's up there, number 1, probably, right? Houston.
I think if Houston, man, yeah. No, I'd say Houston number 1, Yankees number 2, Red Sox number 3, in terms of just hatred. What were you gonna say? What would you say, Mead?
I mean, Yankees and Dodgers are probably both the most loved and the most hated teams in baseball. I mean, you either love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Red Sox are like,
As we're waiting for people to jump on, the reason why I have so many Dodgers caps is because they don't do cool Red Sox caps.
Yeah, they don't.
No.
They just really don't, man. They don't do any of the cool stuff, man. No one's going to put a palm tree next to a Boston B.
There's no palm trees in Boston?
All they did was like that stupid Paul Revere hat.
Everyone thought that was George Washington.
Who the hell wants a Boston hat with like a statue of Paul Revere next to it? Like, it's just like, you know.
You couldn't even tell it was Paul Revere. That's the thing, too.
No, everyone's like, that's George Washington. No, I'm 100% certain that's Paul Revere.
Well, what makes the Yankees, I guess, less hated recently is because they haven't had as much success, right?
Yeah, I think that changed the dynamic. The Red Sox started winning, the Yankees weren't as dominant, and then it kind of changed. There's not as much hatred. It's kind of balanced out.
Mm-hmm. All right,
cool.
Let's get this started. Hey guys, welcome to Views from the Vault, episode 13. It's your homie Leon here. We are here with my co-hosts, Pierre and Jason. We have a very special episode today. We have Jeremy from Brunch Boys over to join us to do a collector spotlight and kind of go under the cap with us. So Pierre's gonna, talk to him, and hopefully you guys enjoy.
Well, I think I should warn everybody not to go onto Jeremy's Instagram if you're hungry. That's going to exasperate things, right? That's going to make people even more hungry. But listen, I think first of all, I'm honored to have you on the show. I know you wrote on the Instagram story that you were honored to be on with us. We feel so privileged to have you here with us today. Getting to know you prior to coming on just now, I think some folks are gonna be very happy to learn some things about you, because there's a lot more to you than meets the eye. You're not just some guy that likes to put together bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. So I want to give you a chance to kind of share with everyone what you're about and what you're into. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Jeremy?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was kind of joking with you guys beforehand. Like, if you guys don't know my page, Brunch Boys, I always explain it as like, it's my food adventures all over the world. I mean, right now I'm sort of stuck in my apartment for a few months, but generally it's me traveling all over for it. I used to work in TV. I used to work in sports TV and then food TV, and it all sort of weirdly led to this weird influencer life. But one of the reasons I was so excited to come on was saying it was an honor was, it's funny with Brunch Boys, obviously because it's food focused, I do talk a lot about other things on that platform because it's my life. My hats are one of those things I'm very passionate about. But the people that are my audience on there doesn't necessarily care so much about it. So I don't generally get asked to talk about my hats. I'm generally asked like, where's my favorite brunch, which I'm happy to talk with you guys about too. But when you're like, hey, can we talk about hats? I'm like, hell yeah, because I mean, honestly, hats have been part of my life for way more than brunch and Instagram and social media. None of those things, brunch existed, but those other things didn't exist when my hat collection started. So
yeah, so tell us, like, what is your Instagram all about? So like for some folks that may not have visited, let's start there, because I think that's like the elephant in the room that everyone would like to know about. But then I want to go into the podcast you have, because I think a lot of people are going to be excited to hear about that.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, Brunch Boys is all like the food. It's all food focused. It's a lot of video because I used to work in TV as a producer. That was always my background. That's always what sort of made me stand out. So cooking at home, traveling when I can. A lot of it's just going to restaurants, seeing the dishes prepared, me eating, having fun with it. The YouTube part of Brunch Boys is a little bit more vloggy, so all that stuff, but a little bit more of my day-to-day as well. And, sort of incorporating all of my life into that too. But yeah, the podcast is another thing that my audience is like, that's cool, but like, whatever. But there's a lot more crossover with your audience, hopefully. Part of my past life was I worked in sports TV and actually worked at WWE for a year. I've been a wrestling fan my entire life. It was like when you're little, like, oh, like, of course, I wouldn't work at WWE. So I did that. I also had the dream, you would think would be the dream job, was I was paid to watch wrestling, where it was like my first job out of college. So like you get a job and you're like day one, you're like, oh my God, like someone's paying me to watch wrestling. That's insane. But after like 3 months of it, you're like, someone like I'm getting paid to watch wrestling, which thankfully didn't take my passion away from wrestling, but certainly like it's not as good of a job as you think it is. But anyway, taking all that, getting back to what I want to talk about. I have a podcast called Monday Night Pod Wrestling's War, which is all about the Monday Night Wars. I know that people love the Monday Night Wars between WWE, FE, Raw, and WCW Nitro. Is obviously the peak of wrestling taking over culture, really. And each and every single week, it is a nerd deep dive. Me and my buddy started at the beginning, Raw versus Nitro week 1, and every single week we focus on those battles and we go in order. So you can watch along with us. You could tag in, find an episode you like, whatever. It's fun. And again, it's like that. I look at it as every day sort of dedicated to Brunch Boys. That's my job. It's my full-time job for over 6 years. But the opportunities I have to sort of like do something creative away from that are really thrilling to me. So whether it's the hats, like I mean, found basically this community I'm still finding out more and more about, mostly because I started Brunch Boys Caps on Instagram too. Just because I was like, little by little, I started learning like, oh wow, this like, all these people are out here. I want to find them. And 2, it sort of helped me document my collection because I've never really gone back through it. I did a live video with Hat Club and then decided to do this big long video for YouTube going through every single one of my hats. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool to just document these hats somewhere and dig into them a little bit more. So I started doing that too. And, like I said, my hat collection goes back to when I was in 4th grade. It's over 20 years ago. So your head size doesn't change. So I'm able to wear all of my hats from the fit changes hat to hat, unfortunately, but for the most part, they all fit me still.
Jeremy, I agree with you to a certain extent, but Barry Bonds' hat size did change.
That's true. Well,
and so did mine because I lost hair, so I went from a 7 3/8 down to a 7 1/4. So, but no, fair enough. But listen, so Jason, I'd love it if you asked Jeremy because you're a huge wrestling fan, right? I'm sure you have a couple of questions you're itching to ask.
Well, I just pulled up his podcast right here, and I have just lost 54 hours of my life because I'm listening to every single one of these episodes. But yeah, just going through the Monday Night Wars. I mean, that was the height of the WWE or WWF back then versus WCW, and chronicling when Hulk Hogan jumped ship and really changed the dynamic of everything. And yeah, I'm super pumped to have finally met a big wrestling fan as me, besides maybe Big Dave. But
yeah. Big Dave, man.
Yeah.
We should have Big Dave. If I had known about this podcast, we could have Big Dave jump on, man. This dude's backdrop, Jeremy, just so you're aware, is just a bunch of like wrestling championship belts.
Oh, so my quarantine, I feel like everyone made like some weird quarantine. Let me just go grab it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
It's right here. I'll show it to you guys. I dreamed about this my entire life, and because your brain breaks, I finally bought it. I bought myself a World Heavyweight Championship.
I got it. He has a wall of those.
So this is so it's the WCW version of this was bigger. This is more when WWE bought WCW, they made the title smaller. So it's more that version. It's not from WWE because I think like the ones they sell aren't that great. It's from this place, Fandu. I don't know. They make the belts in China. They ship it to me pretty fast. And it's like legit. It is the dumbest thing I've ever purchased, but it brings me so much joy that I do not regret it for 1 second.
Oh, the nameplate on there. I love the nameplate.
The nameplate says Triple J because my favorite wrestler of all time is Triple H. And if I were to, so there's a lot of I'm Jeremy Jacobowitz. So basically I would be Double J, but in wrestling, there's already been a few Double J's. So I figured to pay homage to my favorite wrestler, I would be Triple J if I were to be a wrestler.
That's very cool, dude.
That's fitting, man. That's fitting. Because like when I grew up, it was like I was telling you, it was like so I'm older than you, obviously. I'm gonna date myself a little bit here, but like it was like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, like you had the Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant, like those were the guys that were still around in my younger days. But listen, I don't think we've had a more well-rounded guest on our show. I mean, you can brunch with the best of them. You're well-traveled. You understand wrestling like probably like no other. And you also love caps. So we do have people in the comments, Jeremy, asking where the heck your cap is, but I think it's because you have the headset on.
You know what's so funny is I was all day I was like, what cap should I wear? And then I jumped on with you guys and I just totally forgot to put it on. So I was thinking about it all day of like what would be the most appropriate.
Well, I can't take my cap off, Jeremy, because I'll blind the viewers. So I have to keep the cap on.
I'll go with so this is my favorite cap. So this is the 96 World Series, the one that means the most to me. This is not, so my first cap I ever got was this cap in 1996. My mom didn't know anything about caps back then, and she decided to wash it in the washing machine and dryer. Wow. So the patch fell off and it shrunk to nothing. So that was the original was destroyed. But thankfully, I've been able to buy the replica of it, which is exactly. I mean, other than all this in here, it's all the same. Like obviously, the inside would have looked more like the oldest cap I have, which is the Blue Jays. Hold on, don't chop everything like that. But I'll take what I can get.
Well, listen, since we know you love Hat Club, so if you want that 96 cap, you could probably get it in 42 different colors and undervisor colors.
You know what's funny? I find that they push. Wait, let's put this on 1 second. They weirdly always do 1999.
You're right.
Which is such an odd world. Out of all the World Series, it's the one to me that is the most unremarkable to me. Like 98, you have the greatest team of all time. 2001, you have the Subway. 2000, you have the Subway Series.
Yeah.
1999. Why is
You
that
know
one
why
always the
though?
cap?
I think it's the visual component of what the patch looks like.
They like that.
The logo. They like the logo of it. Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's almost like, I don't know. I don't know how much everyone else prescribes to this, but I believe that a lot of the cultural components of this have pulled people in just from the visual aspect of it. It's not necessarily like you connect with 98, right? That team, and you connect with 96, obviously. I connect with the 2004 Red Sox. But some of these younger folks that are buying fitted caps now are connecting more with just how they look.
Right. So these are the original I have. These all survived. So that's 98. And here's the original 99. So I guess, yeah, I don't know, whatever.
That 99 patch does look sharp though.
Yeah, that's true.
My favorite patch for the Yankees is the 2004 World Series championship patch.
Oh, really? I don't have that cap. Funny. That's what.
So Jeremy, you were talking a little bit earlier with us about how you got into hats, and I know you alluded to some of it, but your story is very similar to a lot of other stories I hear out there in terms of how travel somewhat connected to caps. Now, first through your mother, and then eventually through what you do now. Do you want to take everyone through that?
Sure. Yeah. So like I said, so 96 was the first cap I ever got because I was 10 years old. The Yankees won the World Series, and that's what you do. And then it started, like, I just started getting, I don't even remember why. Like, I do not know why I own this Blue Jays cap, which is the oldest one still in my collection. For some reason, I got it. But then pretty much from there, it started. My mom traveled a lot when I was a kid. So that became like what she would get for me when she would travel. And it was always fitted. It was always MLB. Like, even when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, I was apparently very specific about what I wanted.
Yeah.
So she started getting me that. And then it became my thing of like, okay, wherever I travel, I will get that cap. So when I used to work in TV, I traveled all the time. I still travel out for Brunch Boys. I've always tried to keep it very specific as worn on the fields, fitted, official MLB. Sometimes I go to cities that don't have an MLB team. Usually there's a minor league team close enough, so I'll get that.
Yeah.
Like when I went to Japan, I picked up a Japanese cap, which was a mistake I made. So this was my mistake. I hate that I did this. I tried to get it from every city. So it was really difficult to find caps in Japan because it's just not a big part of their culture there, especially with baseball teams. But I finally found a Lids in Kyoto. And I was like, oh, finally. So they had every hat of every team. And I was like, okay, well, I can't like pack my suitcase full of hats. I'll buy the one cap now. And when I get back to New York, I'll order the rest of them, which is sometimes what I do. If I can't find the cap while I'm there, just order it.
Oh, you learned a valuable lesson that day.
Yep. I got back to America and I was like, why can't I get these? And I actually DM'd Hat Club. I was like, why can't I get Japanese caps? They're like, yeah, those are never going to come here. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, we've got listen, off to the side, Jeremy, if you're ever looking for a cap out there, let us know. We've created quite the I don't know, international connection. So we have them all over the place that can help us get caps in different places. So if you're
if you want to talk about, so all of Japan I want. The one I cannot find, I don't know why I don't own this cap. I don't have the 2009 World Series World Series cap for the Yankees. Ooh. And I only see it where the patch is on the wrong side, which I don't want. I only want if the patch is worn on this side, which is like a big bummer because I realize that like now it's not possible. But for these caps, I don't truly understand the rules, but it seems like if they were able to make them originally with it, they're able to produce it now. And I bought one the other day, a few weeks ago, and it said 2009 World Series. And I was like, finally the patch, but I didn't look closely enough at the patch. It wasn't the World Series patch. It was the World Series championship patch.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, damn it. So that's the next one I have to find. At least the nose produced. I want like, I have a weird fascination with those weird 90s caps that were like gray and white. That were like only worn, like what the Royals had like a gray one. The Mets had a white one for a season. The Red Sox had that white one for a season.
Yeah, they had a white one.
I like those things. Yeah.
The Nomar Garcia-Parra cap is what we would call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, there's so many cool ones. And I think like, for some of those, you can still find the patches on the correct side.
Yeah.
you just got to look closely enough. Like I know Hat Club's recently released some that had them on the right. When I say the right side, I mean the correct side.
Right.
You know,
It
the way they
seems
were
like, I feel like from my understanding, it was like if that cap was originally produced with it on that side, like the 96 cap I'm wearing, they're able to make it. But if it's any different, they can't. So like all their like special caps, because that's not an official cap, they can't do it. Does that sound right?
Well, the other reason is today they want that new era logo.
Right. I mean, yes, that's
on the side
yeah,
of the cap,
of course.
and so they
Yeah.
probably have to pay extra or something like that in order to
Gotcha.
replace it.
Okay.
Yeah.
2016, they started putting the new era
Right.
logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with 2009, you'll still be able to. That cap will be released. We'll keep our eyes open, Jeremy. I'm sure that cap is in existence.
And I know there is a 10-year window after the patch is used on the field, but nobody can produce it. So that 2009 one, you should start seeing those come around anytime now.
See, that's weird. You know, that's the weird part, though, Jason. Like you say 10 years, but they just started embroidering the Red Sox World Series patch from 2018.
That's what I've heard is the 10-year window. Maybe I've heard incorrectly or maybe they're quoted incorrectly. I don't know. But I've heard several places say they have to wait 10 years. For the
that's weird. Yeah, because well, we can research that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sure someone will comment incorrectly.
Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, we have a nation of fact checkers. Just so you're aware.
Great.
Like so.
Please correct me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm certain someone's Googling it right now. But yeah. So let me ask a question. So you visited a lot of different places. So what's been the coolest place you visited, and you know, the coolest cap you've picked up?
Yeah. I mean, for me, the coolest place was Japan. It was my absolute dream to go to Japan. And I was able to go for Brunch Boys for work pretty much. But, you know, work for me is fun. Like my work is, I worked with the airline, All Nippon Airways, and they were like, we'll send you to Japan. We'll pay you. Just go make a lot of videos that make people want to go to Japan. I was like, done. So I spent 3 weeks there.
Oh man,
just making food videos and eating everything and just experiencing the culture. That was the best. So the pickups, what's the best one? You know what's funny is I've grabbed a lot of them. A lot of them I didn't even grab there. For some reason, I've only been to Seattle once.
Yeah.
I have so many Seattle caps. And part of that is just like every single cap they've ever worn is incredible.
I just saw your picture of the pilot's cap. You're wearing the pilot.
Yeah, so that's what I'm holding right here.
Oh.
Yeah, so these are just like a few. These are two of my newer ones, both of them. This one I've had on my list forever to get. I finally picked it up. But everything, like what actually I probably like the most is the Seattle cap I got in '98, which is like the silver brim, just the little compass, whatever.
I just got that. You want to see? Let me show you.
Yeah, that one's cool. I like how like the brim is like that different material that
I like it
no
too.
one else
Hold
has
on,
ever
let me show
done.
you. So a buddy of mine, TJ, and I, you know, this guy was on eBay.
Yeah.
This one, right?
Yep. That's it. Oh yeah, with the tag. Yep. That's the exact one I bought in 1998. Yep. 100%. The only thing missing is my dog destroyed a few caps in like 1999.
Okay.
She destroyed, unfortunately, I had the like 1997 Red Sox red cap, that alt one, which I haven't seen. I bought like their batting practice red, but it's not the same. She destroyed that one. Destroyed a like 90s Orioles cap, which is fine. That's easy to replace. And she just rips the little squeegee off the top of the Seattle cap. So squeegee's gone, but the cap remains intact otherwise, which is fine.
What size are you, by the way?
7.5.
I was hoping you're a little bit of a smaller head, but you got too much hair.
It's just a gigantic dome.
So let me ask the question. If you had a chance, let's say outside of Japan, if you had a chance to go somewhere right now and have this specific food for brunch and wear a specific cap, what would it be?
I actually love LA. Not being able to travel, I was probably in LA every other month. When I worked in TV, it made sense. Now, just like the food scene in LA is crazy. It's mostly just because it's so big, but also just think like the influences there are influences that like aren't in New York. Like I always say, like Mexican food in LA. Like you can't get anything close to that in New York. So go in there, and also like Dodgers. My favorite ballpark is Old Yankee Stadium. Unfortunately, Old Yankee Stadium is no more. So my current favorite ballpark is Dodger Stadium. I just think there's something so special about it. You go there, you like eat a Dodger dog, you just watch a baseball game, and it's like you don't think that ballpark is 60, 70 years old now. Like it doesn't feel so super modern, but it doesn't feel old at all. And it's such a great baseball experience.
Yeah.
I love it there.
Those older ballparks have more character.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. You know, some of the new, like I've enjoyed my trips to. I love Camden Yards, though. I will say that Camden Yards was the first one of that new era of ballpark. That's a great place to watch a baseball game. But I do love Fenway. But I went out to the Washington Nationals Park, and I'm like, this thing is like a shopping mall with a baseball field attached to it. It just feels like it doesn't feel as good as some of these other ballparks, you know. But
right, yeah. I mean, like, and even New Yankee Stadium, I've gotten adjusted a little bit, but it just like, if I never went to the old stadium, I would probably go there and think it's the greatest place in the whole world. But like having so many like visceral memories of being in Old Yankee Stadium, the smells and the sounds and the energy and I was at a couple incredible games. The games that come to mind were one, I was at the oh geez, all these years are getting so confused. We beat the Red Sox, the Pedro game, the
2003.
Was that it? Okay, yes.
In the ALCS.
Yes, that was it. The Aaron Boone game. How could I forget Aaron Boone?
And just so everyone knows, the commercial break came back late, so I saw the ball already launched. I didn't even get to see the goddamn pitch that ended my 2003 and ended the remote control that I broke in half after that happened. Go ahead. You were there, right?
I was at that game, which is like the greatest. I remember when I worked in sports TV. I worked for SNY. I worked for SNY, which is the Mets network, and then I worked for WCBS, the local sports department here.
Yep.
So I would be in every locker room, but I would usually be, especially at Mets games, I'd probably be in the visitors locker room just because we had more important people in the Mets locker room. So it was when Aaron Boone was.
Well, in all due respect, Jeremy, there are also more important players in the visitor locker room than the Mets. So you were actually lucking out. You actually lucked out.
But I remember Aaron Boone was there. I forget if he was on the Nationals, maybe he was a coach or managing Nationals at the time. And I just remember just like shaking. I was like, I was there.
Yeah.
That was game one of the 2001 World Series where they hit like the Tino Grand Slam and the other. Oh, geez, it's so long ago. But I just remember I was in the upper deck and just like the upper deck in the old Yankee Stadium would shake up and down after something like that. And just like memories that just, you know.
Where were you when Luis Gonzalez ended that World Series?
That was a very sad moment. One of the worst moments ever.
Since you opened a wound for me, I wanted to open one for you. You know, but listen, I know you have a few caps to show us, but I wanted to ask my fearless co-host there, Leon, because Leon's always brimming with questions, and I'm sure he's got a few up his sleeve right now. So, Leon, what would you like to ask Jeremy?
Well, I mean, how do you guys like? So you're usually traveling, you're doing your food thing. So where do you kind of fit in the hat shopping? So where are kind of the coolest places? How do you kind of fit that in?
At this point, a lot of the times I'll like when I'm there, I'll see if I can find something. I mean, there are lids everywhere. It makes it pretty easy, especially when I'm in that city looking for that team. It's generally easy. What's funny is I go to LA a lot. So as much as I'm probably more of a Dodgers fan, there's only so many different Dodgers caps you could own, while the Angels have a million caps. Ooh. And even in LA, like it's hard to find Angels caps. Nobody cares. So generally usually what ends up happening is like I'll come back from the city. Also, like it's hard to fit a hat into my small suitcase without destroying it. So now a lot of times I'll travel, and when I come home, I'll order it online from wherever. If it's a major league team, it's easy enough. If it's a minor league team, sometimes have to do a little bit more digging. But you know, it's not too difficult.
I will say it's probably harder to find an Angels cap, but they are better looking caps.
Yeah, especially they're like 60s and 70s. I mean, all of them, even like
their logos are the most slept on logos in baseball.
And like, all this nostalgia for like the Disney Angels too. Like, oh, like that's the coolest. I got the one of like the powder blue. I'm like, I love it. Way better than what they wear now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Leon, for Jeremy?
No, not really. I mean, I saw your video in Toronto, so you hit up all the good spots.
Oh, good.
I gotta point you in the right direction for the hat stores, though. We can't just have you shopping at Lids, though.
What's your favorite
Please.
cuisine from Toronto?
Ooh, let me think. It's the most interesting thing. I love Toronto. I hadn't been to Toronto in 20 years. Last time I was there, went with my mom, and we went up there where the Yankees were playing. That would be like my trips when I was little. It was like we'd find out when the Yankees were going to these places. I'd go to see the stadium. So I went to go see a bunch of Yankees games at the Sky Dome 20 years ago. So I went back this past summer. Blue Jays they're out of town. But I did like a stadium tour. I just want to see the stadium anyway. But the food in Toronto is so diverse, which sometimes people don't realize. So I actually had like Egyptian brunch in Toronto. It was my first time even eating Egyptian food. And I was blown away. I thought it was fantastic. But there was like a classic like pea meal bacon sandwich thing at the food market there. Like the food is just really diverse and really amazing. And pancakes. They love their blueberry pancakes in Toronto. So I did a whole like blueberry pancakes roundup video of like the best of the best.
Well, Leon, I think, approves of your food choices. That's why he's speechless, but he doesn't approve he wants to make sure that he diversifies your hat shopping experiences outside of Lids.
Like I said, this is like as much as I've collected for so long, immersing myself in this culture is all very new to me. So please, I'm all ears.
Well, Jeremy, before we get into your caps, right, that you're going to show us, have you ever been to Lawrence, Kansas?
No.
I've
been to
because they throw anybody in jail in there. So
I have actually wait, I take that back. I went to so here's what I did. I used to work on a show about state fairs.
Okay.
So I flew into Wichita and I went to the Kansas State Fair, which is like an hour or so west of Wichita. Is that anywhere near this?
Well, this is pretty close to where I believe Jason Mee was arrested for peeing on a light pole.
Oh.
I mean, that may have been one of the reasons, but the Iowa State Fair, by far the best state fair.
Yeah, what's sad is that's the only one it was a show we were casting, so just sort of up to the schedule. I think that one happens first or something like that. It was the only I was sent to. I went to Minnesota State Fair, the Kansas State Fair, the Texas State Fair, the Oklahoma State Fair, the Florida State Fair, and the Georgia State Fair.
Ooh. Okay, so this was like a state fair of Lapalooza, right? So this sounds like it was a lot of fun. So, yeah. Listen, I'd love to see some of your caps. Then what we're gonna do, Jeremy, is we're gonna take you through this wonderful world of Week in Review, where Leon takes us on this wonderful journey where we look at all the previous week's cap releases and we critique them. But I want to see what you want to show us.
Sure. I mean, I just sort of quickly grabbed a bunch. It's an endless collection, but so this like the New York Giants, I just think it's cool. I love the green. I'm very into these green caps now. Oh, shit, I should have grabbed it. One thing that was on my list that I actually found a few weeks ago is I really wanted the like low profile green Yankees. And I kept thinking, oh, I got to look for 1980s. But then it was like a 1960s, whatever. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. But anyway, I just like this one because when I wear it, people think it's a Mets cap because they're like, oh, it's a dope black Mets cap. I'm like, no, this is a New York Giants cap.
Yeah.
This one.
I love the green. I love the green under. I think a lot of folks think I'm more of a pink under now, but I love the green under. The green is just classic, man.
Well, also like I'm very, as much as I like all these new fancy colors, I always try and stick to what's actually worn on the field. Gotcha. Now it's expands. Like usually my rule is like, okay, the first cap that I get of that team is something that they have worn on the field. And then I can like expand into everything else. But I try and get that one official one. The Astros prototype, I love. Oh, yeah. Like I posted about this the other day and I was like bummed that I didn't pick up the white and the blue versions of this also. I think it's the first one they dropped and I was like, I need it. And then I was like, oh wait, look at those other colors.
Oh my God, there's a ton of those out there.
Yeah. The green
Yeah.
one's so nice.
Green ones.
Oh yeah. So this one go back to the WWE stuff. I love when they did the partnership with New Era for these caps. Like my whole life coming together pretty much. I haven't loved a lot of the designs. That's more of a WWE thing. Like their t-shirts suck for the most part. That has fallen into their caps too. But I felt like, oh, even though I'm not like an old school WCW fan, I'm like, oh, old school Sting, very like 90s vibe. Like I'm like, okay, I could legitimately wear this cap. And just some other new ones, like again, like variants of like the green, the Milwaukee Braves.
Oh,
like,
that's a great
that patch is nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I fell into a weird.
Who'd they beat that year?
They unfortunately beat the Yankees that year. I fell into like a YouTube black hole.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, sure. I fell into a YouTube black hole, like all about the Boston and then Milwaukee Braves, and I was like right around time I bought that hat. I was feeling it. And then this Dodgers cap, obviously like Brooklyn boy, I love my Dodgers caps, but I just like the idea that this one is different than the one every single other person owns. So
if you ever want to find some good Brooklyn Dodgers caps, go on the locker room of Downey.
Okay.
The locker room of Downey. You're gonna find some really cool Brooklyn Dodgers caps.
Cool.
Nice. So, Leon, are you ready to take us through the week in review? And Jeremy, we're kind of excited to kind of get your take. We know that you're more of a official on-field guy, but hopefully you can loosen up some of those restrictions as we look through these, because
100%.
Nice.
Perfect. So this week in caps, we're going to start off with a different vendor this week. Our friend and friend of the show, Adam at Over Your Head, has relaunched a pre-order for two of the most popular designs. These are obviously Big Lebowski inspired. Jay, you want to take us through this? Since you love it so much.
Yeah, this is the second time he's released the Market Zero, and the third time he's done the Durham Dudes. I have both of them, and I've heard he's actually working on a third design to go with this Lebowski trilogy. So hopefully he can come back on the show sometime and preview that. But yeah, these are both huge sellers. So if you haven't gotten one of these yet, make sure you jump over to overyourhead.ca and get your order in for these. I have both of them. Love these hats.
Leon, can we come off screen sharing for a minute and I can show them off real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Listen, these things are cool as hell, man.
He can't stop selling it, man. I'm pretty sure he's sold close to like 500 of them.
Listen, I've never even seen this movie, but I'm into it, man. I think that's some guy's thumb bone with a hat on it.
It's a pinky.
It's a toe.
It's a toe.
I can get you a toe.
I'm all set, man. I'm all set on the toes, but that's my favorite of the two.
Yeah. This is badass. He can't stop selling.
These are badass, and every time he puts them up for pre-order, everyone, people are buying them, man, because they're great looking hats.
It's got to be one of the most popular customs of all time.
Gotta be.
So he's got an option to either buy one, another, or buy both, and you get a lot of extras with it. So
Adam does a great job throwing in extras, pens and cards and stickers and all sorts of stuff.
Jeremy, do you like bowling?
You like bowling?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You like the food at most bowling alleys?
You know what? They've gone very wacky with food at bowling alleys. Actually, it's not my favorite, but like if you want to like take photos and like have a very fun experience, they do all kinds of crazy stuff in our bowling alleys. At least in New York.
That's true.
All right. So getting into Hat Club, they released a city side patch collection. Any one of these kind of stand out to you, Pierre?
Well, I do like that these, I believe, all have green unders.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not into this.
No.
Toronto's
got a weird one. So our flag is not the standard size. So I don't know why they did it, but it's not a standard size flag.
I think they did it to piss you off, Leon.
Well, it's just one of those weird things about Toronto, but I had this one originally. I think I got it from the New Era flagship store a couple years ago. I did not realize that the Hat Club versions had green under, so I'm regretting.
But I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Like, why couldn't they just make the flag smaller like the other ones on the side of the cap?
No, I'm saying the actual flag of Toronto
Yeah.
is not the standard size of a flag, like regulation size. It's longer than the.
It looks a little longer there.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, learn a little geography today. Some of the cool different.
You know which one looks the nicest to me though? If I had to pick, would be the Arizona one.
Yeah, Arizona represents.
Or the Baltimore.
Yeah, I like the Baltimore one. Yeah.
The Baltimore one. Remember they did the brim. Did they do that? The brim as the flag.
Yeah, you did Maryland
for the Maryland stuff.
Yeah, Maryland state flag, but this is the Baltimore state flag.
They look very similar.
They do.
They do. Yeah.
The Maryland one is has red and white squares.
Yeah, they're both ugly. They're both ugly as hell.
Oh, come on now.
Well, a lot of these city flags look like bootleg,
They look like they don't look. They're not the sharpest looking things.
I mean, they're missing the best city flag of them all, and that's the Chicago one.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Lawrence.
No, I would spit on that flag.
This is another reason why you were arrested.
Jeez. All right. And then Hat Club came out with the Don C, just Don All-Star Game caps. This was kind of interesting because the original hit on these were $100. You could have got them at Lids, NewYorkCap.com, or Don C's website. But Hat Club came out with these, and they were a great deal cheaper, right? $60. Am I correct?
$60. Yeah, and I think some folks are like, "Oh, thank God, I can get these at retail and not pay resale." But actually, Hat Club dropped them 40% off the retail, the original retail that Liz was charging. So
they're still both fully available, full size runs on Hat Club right now.
Yeah.
I think in terms of NBA All-Star collections, Chicago had the best one pretty much ever, and I don't think it's much of an argument. And then staying on that theme, yeah, he had his take. So his art style is like very geometric. He does a lot of cool images. So this one is on this. Do you guys know offhand what the retail hit on this one is?
This one's
like
60. 40, was it 60? I thought it was 45.
No, this one's 60 as well.
But it's sold out, so it doesn't really matter.
This one was 60 as well.
This was 45.
Was it 45?
On Hat Club, it was.
Yeah. The original price, I think, might have been 55 on.
Yeah.
I think it was 45 or 50 on New Era, and then 55 on his personal site.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
I had to grab it off his personal site, so with shipping, it was like $70. But either way, I mean, support a great artist. His thing sold out right away anyway. Really cool All-Star Game stuff. So
that's a cool hat.
And then Hat Club dropped a bunch of minor league stuff. Jason, you want to take us through this?
Yeah. So just some redone colorways of some hats that these teams have released before, except for the Staten Island Pizza hats. I haven't actually seen that logo on a hat yet. But yeah, you had the Memphis Redbirds do a turtle theme. They used to be the Memphis Turtles back in like the 20s and 30s. Then you got this bearded man for the Round Rock Express. Not 100% sure the story on that guy. And then obviously the Norwich Sea Unicorns and just a new yellow style railroad hat.
Yeah, and Jason, you actually showed off in a hat battle that Memphis Turtles cap that accidentally got released and it got pulled back right away. You were able to grab one of those.
Yeah, that was had a turtle shell crown and a green visor.
And I'm sure Jeremy has seen the middle cap in his travels around New York.
The real thing, not the logo,
thing,
the actual pizza rat.
Exactly. And listen, you know what I like about that Sea Unicorns is like, all the minor league on-fields have that black under. These all have grays.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have a favorite minor league team, Jeremy?
No, I'm trying to think of the caps. The caps, I mean, they're so crazy. I got one. I don't remember what team it is. It was like a pancake logo though. Like that one speaks to me. I don't even remember what team it is though.
Well, Jason's wearing a pancake
No, is Jason wearing biscuits?
Or biscuit. Wait, no, it was biscuits that I had.
Montgomery.
Yeah, is that okay? Yeah.
This is a Orlando Brunch baseball. They're like a small independent team.
And then they released this Milwaukee Bucks, the super white crowns. Probably not going to be too popular with it, with the collectors, but it is a cool logo. It's interesting to see them bring back this old Bucks logo. Pierre, did you grab one of these?
Yeah. Did I grab that one?
Or one of them? Like, didn't Angela help you get one of these in green?
Yeah, I've got but I got it with a green crown.
Yeah.
That Buck looks so weak though. Looks so wimpy. Like, what is he? Look at all these like twirling a basketball. Like, you just
we're in a very good team back then. No.
I gotta be honest with you. That Buck doesn't really ring fear, into its opponents. I mean, look at that thing. He's like all playful, spinning a ball.
Yeah, you're not gonna fear that deer. No.
I think his legs are crossed.
Fear the deer. I don't think anyone's scared of the Bucks anyways right now. So either way.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Come on.
Giannis?
Come on.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see in the playoffs.
Giannis. Jesus.
And then we got some classic MILB logos.
Ooh, I love these.
Yeah.
You want to talk about them, Pierre? I don't know much about these.
I prefer when Jason Mead takes us through the minor league stuff because he's so eloquent in how he presents them.
All right. So first you got the Wilmington Blue Rocks logo from, I think it's about 10 years ago. They've since changed it a little bit, but yeah, that one's a cool looking. I'm not even sure, the pickaxe breaking through the rock there, and then you got an old San Antonio Missions.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably from.
Can I share with Jeremy their best player? Jeremy, the best player to ever play for the San Antonio Missions.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Martinez.
Oh, did he have? So I have a Missions hat. Mine's like gold.
Mm-hmm. So this logo
Does that make sense?
From like the early 90s.
Yeah, I like this one much better.
And then you got the Beaumont Golden Gators. I'm not sure what team they are now, but they've probably moved around quite a bit.
I love that green and gold though.
Yeah, and then so obviously they're probably an athletics affiliate at that point. And then Swing of the Quad Cities, one of the few teams in the minor leagues that actually put the name before the city. They have a little stylized. This was our alternate sleeve logo, lowercase Q and C for Quad Cities. I actually picked this one up because I love retro Iowa logos. So,
dude, listen, I gotta be honest with you. Like, you gotta like any of this retro minor league stuff is like gold.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know if you're ever going to see it again. I mean, somebody will reproduce it at some point, but you never know when or if. So, yeah, I'm kind of pissed at myself that I passed on that Missions hat. Looking at it again, I really wish I would have picked that one up.
Those are cool. That's a cool colorway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Gator looks kind of cheesy too, though. I bought it, but he looks like weak like that.
TJ just fact checked me. They only existed for 3 years, and they were a Padres affiliate. That Golden Gators from Beaumont.
And
the fact checker getting fact checked. I love it.
There you go. And
that's why I didn't want to. That's why I didn't want to really present that slide.
That's fine. So Hat Club came out again with their California flag with the bat. Interesting to see that these ones sold out pretty much instantaneously. They've released this multiple times, right? So kind of cool.
The black one before.
Is the black one the first time?
No, they've done the black one before. The maroon one, I think, was the first time they've done that. And they've done green before. So. They've
done a lot of iterations of this hat, though. But to have them just release it, sell out, that's pretty crazy. And then Chimuko, Pierre, you grabbed this one already, right? You had this one.
Let me tell you something. I love Chimuko, man.
Yeah, very big.
His shit is so nice, man. It's just so good.
Yeah, and then the Diamond era didn't stop people because this thing still sold out.
The Diamond era nearly stopped me, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna do it.
Jeremy, you like Diamond era hats?
I wouldn't.
I can tell from a mile away that Jeremy is a wool poly guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually like Diamond era hats. I'm not afraid to admit it. I have a few in my collection. They're very comfortable.
Yeah.
They're a little more flimsy than the Paul Wally poly wool ones, but
Yeah, I feel like they don't fit properly.
You
I
know
don't know.
what?
They're not as comfortable.
Jeremy, can I share something about that? So I have the same fear. Like all of the spring training hats from this year came in diamond era. You know, they fit terribly, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one, when I got it, fit right. So like normally with diamond era, there's too much room and it's all like floppy and
Right,
stuff.
exactly.
This one actually fit me perfectly.
Hmm.
And I'm not just saying that to be like, it's not just wishful thinking. It's like, I don't know what everyone else is seeing, but I will say this, and I don't want to come too far off the beaten path here, but the quality control at New Era has gotten so much better of late. The hats that I'm getting fit right all the time for the most part.
See, I don't feel the same way. The last few hats I've gotten, either my head's getting taller or the crowns are getting shallower.
I think the crowns are getting a little shallower.
Because I like to wear mine really, really down low, and I can't do that with some of the latest ones I've gotten.
Well, I guess maybe your head's getting bigger too.
Could be.
Maybe it's all the attention your Instagram's been getting.
Yeah, you know.
He stepped outside the curtain, so they all know. But Chimuko's got something dropping tomorrow too, right? So keep
Chimuko's got a badass hat dropping tomorrow.
Yeah. And then Danny dropped this hat. It's kind of like a he's kind of got a little bit of like that Marauder theme, but then he's got like neon vibes on it, beetroot under. It's very interesting. I think it sold out right away.
There's a lot going on here.
A lot going on. But I believe there is a pre-order coming on Friday for this. I could be wrong.
For this and for his old cyborg.
The Tommy John one?
The I believe the
cyborg arm.
All right, this one I can see a lot of folks loving. Not my thing. I can see a lot of folks loving that cyborg arm one. I'm okay. I'm okay never seeing that hat again.
This one's kind of cool. Jay, you want to take us through this?
Yeah. So in 1985, apparently everything was lined up for Indianapolis to possibly get an expansion team or to move an existing team to Indianapolis. They were called the Arrows. They had like 17,000 season tickets sold. They had all the money in the world. And then at the very last minute, they realized, we can't convert Hoosier Field to play baseball. So they had everything lined up except where they were actually going to play. But anyway, Hat Club went through and re-released or recreated these on-field, what would have been their on-field hats with their logo.
Yeah.
And they did
a great job with these.
They did.
And John does a good shit with this stuff. Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
I was going to say, this is going to be a cap I'm going to regret not getting. I was like staring at it as we got closer and closer. And I love these prototype stuff. Like I got the Washington one they did.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that one, the Washington
Astros one. Like I love all those. And I just, for some reason, I was like, not this time. And looking at them now, I'm like, oh, shit.
It's cool. It's almost like the seam. Like the seam is like it's almost like they designed it in a way where the seam is like the stick of the arrow, right? Like it almost looks like that. They did a really good job, and John did a good job like digging in the crates to figure out what to kind of roll out there. That Washington Stars one I actually like better than this.
Yeah.
But this one I got all three colorways. Whenever those types of hats come out, like the ones that you probably won't see again, I pick them up.
Yeah, you just never know if they're ever going to do it again. Do you have a favorite colorway out of these three, Pierre?
I like the blue with the red.
Okay.
But all of these are nice. I do think the Washington had one white panel that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, but blue.
Yeah. I will say the story of this franchise, and thank you for sharing that, Jason. It reminds me of all those guys that start pre-selling customs before New Era approves them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Arrows. And then a little red pack. I obviously jumped on the Jays one. These ones went really quick. I've never seen the 93 patch with a red hat, so this was an instant cop for me. But these all other ones went really quick too. Yeah.
What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer that 2000 World Series patch or the Subway Series patch?
I prefer no patch. So if they would have done
Well, the question was, which patch do you prefer?
The Subway patch looks cooler, but it's just been done so much, and it's huge. But if I were to have one patch, I'd probably do the Subway. But it's good to mix it up. What do you think, Jer? As the resident,
because I prefer what was used, I would rather have this patch.
Me too. I like that, but it's not just because of the authenticity portion of it. I actually think this is a sharp looking patch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about 89? The Battle of the Bay or the official? Which one do you guys like?
Aesthetically, the Battle of the Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Aesthetically.
Yes. Interesting. And then some of the classic stuff. The that powder blue Royals. Even though I hate the Royals, I had to get it. Yeah.
That's a clean looking hat.
And then the Dodgers with the 40th patch. I've never seen that patch ever before.
I have lids.
Lids? Okay.
They stitched it on.
Was it woven though?
No, yeah, they're all woven from lids, right?
Yeah. So that's the first time I've seen it done properly. So I had to jump on the Dodger one, and then I'm okay on the pinwheel. How do you feel about pinwheel hats, Jeremy?
I don't love them.
Mm-hmm.
So on occasion, but generally no. Like this one, I don't love. Like I have the Canada Day or the Canada Day Expos or some Expos with some patch. I forgot. I gotta go look. But just the blue, and I think it is perfect.
Yeah. This is the only thing this thing's missing is a propeller.
Then I would have bought it.
Exactly. And then the Yankee pink bottom with the heart, which I believe is the proper Valentine's Day hat. I believe Justin released this originally on a Valentine's Day, so this one's pretty cool. And then the Giants had a Filipino hat. Everything West Coast, they do a lot of like Asian heritage stuff, so that was kind of interesting to see. I don't think this is the first time they've done something like this, so I know the Warriors do a lot of stuff like this, so it's cool to see the Giants kind of hop on.
Well, they have a huge following in the Philippines.
The Giants?
No, the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Hat Club released their duffels, I think, for pre-order. I'm not really a big duffel guy, so I can't really speak on these. Do any of you guys use the Hat Club duffels?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few.
Yeah. I know some of the people online, they love duffels, but
I have one that I got as a gift for like a Black Friday event or something. And I used to use it until, I outgrew it.
Yeah.
But I use the drop front shoe boxes now in the dresser.
Billion Creation had a restock of the Mandalorian hats. It seems like almost every retailer, I don't blame them. It's a super popular show. Baby Yoda's cool, but this isn't the first time we've seen it. Are you a Star Wars guy, Jeremy?
No. I've seen the original 3. What's funny is I got Disney Plus and I was like, let me not watch all the new ones. Let me go back and watch the older ones because I haven't seen those since I was a kid. And I couldn't do it. I don't think it's bad. I was just like, all right, I kind of now remember everything, and I'm not the biggest fan. I don't need to rewatch it.
I try to force myself to be a fan too, Jeremy, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And then Exclusive Fitted had a slew of hats come out. Big Apple. You see some Dodger stuff, some type of pastel-y colors, the off-green, green eggs and spam. Hat Club
green eggs and spam.
Yeah, a little Hat Club Finky there. Yeah, you see anything that sticks out here, Jason? I know you love pastel colors.
No, not really. Again, all these side patches, I'll pass. I will say that with these drops, they have been having some issues with their website and some reports of people's information showing up in other people's carts. I would just say that if you are shopping with these guys during one of their drop times, to be very careful.
Okay. Cool. I did not know that.
Where else are people going to get this sage advice? You know, like, listen, be very careful. Your personal information is at risk.
Yes. So use PayPal if you do shop with them. They said they're working on it. Hopefully they just trash the whole thing and get a new platform.
Yeah. Well, I did pick up. I hope no one got my information because I did pick up one of those Mets caps.
Jeez. And then we got a couple of the New York Yankee ones. The team described just still won't go away. I see.
Team described, just please die. Like,
Yeah.
will you please go the fuck away?
Yeah. What do you think of this kind of half black, half red beast Harley Quinn looking? Do you like the Yankees and the Mets on the same hat? Is that blasphemy for New Yorkers?
I'm not into it. But
Did you even have to ask that question, Leon? I think
I'm
we
just
all knew
checking.
it.
Hey, Babe Bro is from New York, and he bought me one of these. But with the blue, the Mets blue and the Yankees blue. But I mean, for most people you ask from New York, they don't like it. So
I've got a name for that hat.
What do you got for it?
Daddy's Little Monster.
There you go. Daddy's Little Monster.
No, you know who that hat is perfect for, like, you know, like the mayors go to like the Subway Series games. So you could wear that. That's what that's for.
Yeah. Just to play both sides of the fence, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
There we go. Our buddies over at Hat Heaven, Brian, he dropped a lot of side patch heat. So some of the highlights I would say is probably the Wahoo. I mean, the Wahoo with the World Series, I think that's the only way that they're allowed to do it now. I don't think they can do any fashion Chief Wahoos or anything that doesn't have the World Series patch. So get them while you can. That 93 Phillies loser patch is kind of cool. But just kind of like the typical stuff that will sell out.
The one thing I picked up from them was this one, the 2004 Cardinals World Series cap.
Yeah. And then this Yankee one, I've never seen that patch used. So that's kind of interesting. That's why I kind of highlighted it.
After we talked, Leon.
You had it on the top 9, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I went back and researched. That is the patch they would have used in 1977 had they used a patch. They didn't use patches back then on the hats. But that is the logo for the 77 World Series.
I've seen that one before.
That's cool. That's a cool one. And then Pierre, you finally got to complete the set with the loser and the winner. So that was
cool. I'm still on the hunt for the Yankees 2004 ALCS postseason cap. So once I can find that,
cool.
And that's where the journey ended for them. So
fair enough. And we spoke about the locker room of Downey a little bit earlier. So this is the drop that they had. So they had some Chief Championship hats. So these were kind of cool. I'm not a big Chiefs fan. I know, Jason, you're a big Raiders fan. So I'll leave this up here for a couple extra seconds so you can look at this.
I had one of our Canadian friends reach out to me to order these, and then I'm going to ship it to him because he was like, Pierre, I really want these caps.
Okay.
I wanted a lot of Kansas City Chiefs championship caps after they won. So I ordered these. They're on their way to Canada soon.
Cool. I believe that it's their second. They've only won. This is their second championship, right? So
they're
built to win.
Super Bowl 3, right?
Yeah.
Who was it? Who was the quarter? Len Doss. Who was? That's not important.
Yeah. Well, they're built to win now, so we'll see how long they last. And then yesterday, I guess, was supposed to be the day that they played this game, but obviously for what's going on, it's not happening. So they released this custom. It's a really interesting piece. It's got the floral under, or the floral brim, and then the logo. I don't know how they got that up there. Either it's like a sewed piece of fabric or whatever, but it's an interesting play on the cap. I wish they would have just stuck with floral on the under and not did over and under, but it's a cool looking cap.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeremy. What'd you say?
No, I just agreeing. If it was under,
yeah,
much prefer it that way.
I know this isn't your type of cap, Jeremy, but I can certainly see you wearing this to brunch out in LA.
I actually agree with you. Where normally it isn't, but if I were like, oh, I need like a very LA thing, it certainly fits the vibe.
Yeah, mine will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, or even like a Hawaii thing, like on the beach or something. It'd be a cool cool kind of hat to have. It's a nice looking hat. I just think
I love this hat, except for the giant LA right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what usually happens with LA hats.
And then our homie over at Noble North, Ryan, dropped a little 2-pack. Jay, you want to go through these ones?
Yeah. So the Beaver Jack's the one on the right. He's done that before. This is a new colorway, black and red. He's done a navy, I think maybe an all red one before. But then the one on the left, the Zambone, is a brand new design from him. I was quick to jump on that one. Love the aesthetic of that thing.
Yeah, it's got like that Fink style kind of vibes. Really cool. Ryan always doing cool stuff over there at Noble North. Shout out to Ryan. And then Salem Beer Mongers. It's interesting. They released the hat with this kind of sports template. It's a little hurting, but craft beer, you don't really see.
They made this last year.
I think they flipped the colorways on this one.
Okay.
Is it? It looks the same to me.
Yeah, it might be. But
Yeah, they need to fire their graphics department because to try to sell a hat with this mock-ups is a little hurting. And the fourth quarter shop dropped a bunch of stuff. You got that Brooklyn Dodger B with the gray under that Jeremy showed. We're hearing some stories that the either the MLB or the Dodgers are starting to try to put a stop on the Dodger colorway hats coming in Laker colors. So that's interesting to see if that is true or not. But that purple under makes a really cool cap there.
Jeremy, is your Brooklyn hat a green under?
Yes. Green.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, I prefer that green.
Yeah. And then we had some more LA stuff, a little bit more fashion, coming in different colors. Do you guys like the LA with the outline? I personally, I don't like it, but kind of curious to see your guys' take on it. No?
I mean, it's cheesy looking.
Yeah.
You can
Looks
tell the
okay
LA folks don't. Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
I was saying it looks okay with the red. I didn't like the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
I will say they don't really have a problem with the black unders, the black nasties out there.
Yeah. Well, that navy with the white outline and the red in, that looks like almost like a Boston hat. What do you think of that, Pierre?
Yeah,
It's built
kind
like
of.
a Boston hat. Yeah.
It is kind of, yeah.
Interesting.
I think you've sold me on it.
You might buy it now.
Might.
LA the Boston way. And then they had a bunch of Raider stuff. So I know Jay's nodding his head because he's a big Raider fan. The Laker one is kind of interesting. The all red is kind of cool. But do you have any favorites here, Jay?
Oh, I like that Laker colorway one. In fact, that just reminds me, I should probably go order that. It's still available.
Jason, what's your basketball team again?
Basketball team is the Celtics.
Oh,
Huge,
good. Okay.
huge Celtics fan.
Fair enough. That's good.
Yeah.
You know which basketball team I really despise? The Knicks.
Yep.
Well,
Jeremy, I'm just kidding.
Listen, it's the Knicks. They suck. There's nothing I can say about them. So
I was just gonna say that. I don't even think about them.
right. And then our friends over at USA Baseball released these kind of nameplate-y type hats. Did you jump on any of these, Pierre? I know you're one of their biggest customers.
Not these.
These ones are kind of weird, right?
These are no New Era did these with like
Teams.
very similar for the MLB.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm good on these.
Yeah. Like when New Era did them for the baseball teams, they used a lot of the team fonts, which made them kind of interesting. But
They did.
This is kind of lacking. And then our buddies Kevin over at Team Collective released the Detroit Icons hat. So this piece, I don't know what all of the stuff means, but I know there's a Coney dog there, Motown Records, and some type of pop. So maybe Robert would know.
Well, that's the oldest canned soda in the country, right?
Turner's Ginger Ale. Yeah. Made in downtown Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a local thing. I know nothing about that ginger ale. For me, it's Canada Dry, but all right.
Well, Canada Dry wasn't the oldest, Leon.
No. But I mean, for me,
let's not knock knock Werner's ginger ale while we're doing this, okay?
I'm not saying that Canada Dry is older. I'm just saying our ginger ale of choice is Canada Dry.
Your ginger ale of choice. Mine is Werner's.
Okay, fair enough. You're not a Schweppes guy? I thought you'd be a Schweppes guy.
No, I'm not a ginger ale guy at all because I'm not 80.
There you go. All right. Our homies over at Clink Room dropped some new stuff on Friday. I know, Pierre, you're really angry that the Orca lost its baseball.
I'm pissed, man. That thing with the baseball was badass. They took that baseball off there and they turned it into just like, I don't know, Free Willy.
Yeah.
The designer, I asked the designer about it, and he actually said he removed the baseball because he wanted the killer whale. He thought the whale got lost in the baseball, so he actually removed it, and because he wanted the whale to stand out more.
I wonder if that's fancy speak for Clink Room asked me to remove it so they can move it forward.
There very well could be. I don't know, but that's what he told me.
I did think the ball wasn't to scale. It was huge. So I don't know. I like the design without it.
Leon, what kind of baseball have you seen that's the size of a killer whale?
Yeah,
Like where are you shopping for baseballs?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's weird. For them to take it off, it's kind of cool now. So I don't know. I liked it. I liked the design better without the baseball.
Well, Leon, since you're really about the size, the scale, right? How many beats do you know that walk around with a beat box to scale?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know about the location of the pendant there. It's in a peculiar area. But fresh meat.
It looks more like a loincloth.
But the fresh beats is kind of interesting. I'm a pass on the desert thing. That's kind of
I did pre-order the killer whale. I ended up buying Free Willy out of respect.
Oh, you ended up buying your freedom. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Jay, does any of these stand out to you?
I mean, I like the colors on the fresh beats, but no, I passed on all of these.
Yeah.
What if I told you the origin story of that beat was that that beat was born in Lawrence, Kansas? Would that change your
definitely would not buy it.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
What if we told you the fresh beats is based on our friend that likes purple, Kelly G? Would you buy it then?
Sure, why not?
All right, there you go.
Nice.
And then the cooler of the release, I think, is the new Dog League that that Clink Room released. For me, the top one is easily the little French bulldog. I grabbed that one right away, and then followed very closely by the bulldog that Efra did. I think that one's
that's
really
Chamuco.
cool.
That's Chamuco. Yeah. And then Casey himself did the chili dog, right?
Yeah. The chili dog's really cool too. So I think all three are a hit. They kind of overshadow the other three, but strong release, strong comeback. I think with Clink Room, it's kind of they're kind of struggling a little bit to get good content a little bit. So
well, I'll say this, man. This Monday morning crits that just passed was. I'm a huge supporter of Clink Room, and I've pre-ordered way too many of these. But this last Monday morning crits is probably the worst I've seen.
Yeah, I know Tony's got some stuff hopefully submitted and hopefully in next week. So hopefully they're going to do a big comeback.
So Jeremy, if you had to choose a hat from this slide, which would it be?
Oh, the Frenchie.
Yeah,
100%.
Frenchie stuff. And then so this brings us to the segment called the Hoon Express. So just to get you up to speed, Jeremy, we have a homie out there. He's out in South Korea, so he aggregates all of the releases that happen in Asia, and then he sends it over to us. And if you do need help getting it, we can put you in touch with the right people. So
He's who I need.
Yeah, there you go. The Yankees Canvas Collection launched in 3 different colorways: tan, maroon, and black. So they used 9-ounce cotton, and it'll set you back about $56. Are these? Do you like this kind of material, Jay? The canvas type material? Do you know anything about it?
I mean, if I was going to match it up with maybe my Carhartt or something like that, but the 9-ounce cotton, that sounds pretty heavy. So I don't know if how this would feel on my head.
It's like mechanic. Work uniform or something,
like welder grade type canvas. So
yeah. It's interesting. I mean, Japan they're always looking to experiment with different materials and different stuff.
I like cotton hats.
This one is the Hetsui Miku collaboration. It's some kind of crazy anime. This one sold pretty well, I believe. Very expensive. I know nothing about it, so I'm not even gonna pretend to know. I know we need John to talk about this stuff. He'll tell us.
John who?
Ramirez.
Oh
from
yeah.
Ink Park.
Oh yeah.
And then we got the Star Sandwich collection. So it looks like they just put a bunch of stars on the brim. And then they went with their indigo denim. Japanese love their indigo. These ones were kind of interesting. A lot to pay though. There's no logos on them at all. So it's an interesting little drop.
I'm not certain what those are all about.
And then this is the Surf Rider Foundation. So apparently some of the proceeds go to protecting and preserving some of the ecosystems. So get a hat and help out the environment. So that one's kind of interesting.
This is a lot this week, huh? Wow.
Yo, it was a lot. It took me a while to build this slideshow.
That's why you're so quiet today.
Yeah, exactly. The 100-year hats looks like it's made its way over to the Japanese professional baseball team. So these ones are kind of similar. It's interesting that they got a gold option and a silver option. Over in America, we only got the gold option. So
man, I might have to hit up Hoon for one of those.
Yeah, I like that gold one.
I like the gold. Black and gold looks great together, man.
Oh yeah.
And then Gore-Tex came out with a pack light. So if it's Gore-Tex, most likely it's going to be waterproof. So these
that's really subtle branding too. Really subtle.
Just a little bit. These, anything Gore-Tex is not going to be cheap. So this one's gonna cost you about $70.
And those tend to run a little small, so any Gore-Tex should go up a size.
Yep. And then the All-Star Game stuff looks like it reached its way over there. It looks like their blue is really bright though. Does that blue look off to you? It'd be weird if they didn't use the right dog.
It might just be the pictures they took.
Yeah. Well, it better be 294C Patone. If not, there's gonna be a lot of people gonna be angry with.
You're gonna be fired up, man.
Yeah. Do you guys? What do you guys feel about having the 2020 All-Star Game patches and stuff like that? Do you think it makes it more valuable or?
No, because I mean, like it's not a collector's item anymore. Like it would be if they just said, "All right, you can't produce any more of these."
Yeah,
they're still allowing them to use the patch.
Yeah. There's so much out there. It's different than the '94 World Series ones because it never happened, right? And
so, I mean, if you're gonna get one of these to tell somebody in 20 years about why they didn't play this game, sure, but I don't think it adds any value, or it becomes a collector's item for any reason. Because they'll be able to use the patch forever.
I do like the palm tree cap though.
Yeah.
I do. I like it.
Yeah, I slept on that one. Was it fourth quarter shop that originally?
No, it's Locker Room of Downey has it, but they restocked, Leon.
Yeah. I know Chris just grabbed it. And that's it. So that brings us.
Jeez.
It was a lot of slides.
That was a wonderful that was a wonderful journey through the week in review.
Thank you.
Jeremy,
but
see any new shops or places you might want to start looking at?
You know which one that made me think about, because I was looking at it maybe it's this week, I forget. It was the Dodgers in the Lakers color. I think I wanted that one. It was sold out when I looked, and I saw it again. I was like, ooh, maybe I should look back into that one.
Yeah, I think based on the rumor that Leon presented, you should try to get it now.
That was it too. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should remember to look back at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jeremy, this was outstanding. I loved having you on. I think a lot of our viewers are probably going to be looking up this podcast because they want to be a part of it.
Please do.
This was fun, man. A lot of fun. And I appreciate so much that you took the time. You're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of balls in the air, and you came on to hang out with us. And you tolerated us for almost an hour and 20 minutes now.
This has been great. Like I said, I mean, I really appreciate you guys having me on. I love talking about this stuff, and I don't have the opportunity to all the time. So I'm excited to do it, and had a blast.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, and we hope to do this again with you at some point. Maybe when your Instagram account has 30,000 followers. I'm sure that's going to happen soon.
Tiny steps.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jason, thanks so much for putting all this information together again, man. I mean, you are doing some outstanding stuff for the community, and I love having you on the show and being a part of all this and helping us put this together. And Leon, of course, you, man, my poutine loving, north of the border brother. You as always, man, you slaved over this presentation today, so I want to thank you for that. And what a great show, man. You guys ready to take us out, Leon?
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you guys subscribe and like the channel. We will be back on Saturday. Big Nelly Fitteds, aka Neil Morrison, is going to be hanging out with us to do a collector's spotlight. So make sure you check that out. And then tomorrow we will be filming some stuff regarding some Australian hats. So
oh yeah, I got the entire AFL team set here.
Yeah, so we'll be hanging out with our buddy from down under, Lee Rocky. So make sure you guys check out that content. We will have that video posted very, very soon. So until then, stay fitted. We will catch you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.